Hi everyone. I thought I would just do a little recap of some of the movements that we looked at the workshop at the weekend. These are just things you can just throw into an evening watching Netflix. They're just here to sort of help restore that normal mechanics through range of movement and essentially try and work on any areas that you might find get a bit stiff that mean that you struggle to kind of get into positions when doing CrossFit. This is Winston. He's annoying. Winston, you go in your bed. Good boy. So, let's start with the ankles. So, that dorsiflexion stretch. So, thinking about getting my bum going towards my heel and then putting some weight forward through my foot until I feel a bit of a stretch coming at the back of my calf and gently rock back off. Quite a nice way that I can just challenge that mobility a little bit. And you'll notice that my heel might come off ever so slightly, but that's okay because I'm still feeling a really good stretch at the bottom of my Achilles. And I'm sitting and holding here just for a few seconds, 5 seconds or so, and then just gently rocking back out of it. And all I'm trying to do is just spend a little bit of time at the end of that range. So you can do 30 seconds, 40 seconds on each leg, just exploring and just seeing how that foot feels. And then you can work your way up to your quads, to your thighs. You can spend a little bit of time just sitting back into your heels, feeling and getting good bit of range of movement through your quads. If you want, you can sit upright. And if you want to challenge yourself a little bit more, you can lean back a little bit and just really get a good stretch. You can even combine that with a bit of a hip stretch, just giving your quads and hips a nice bit of range. Something else you can do for your knees is just a bit of gentle tibial rotation. So trying to keep your knees fixed and just turning your toes out, turning your toes in, just getting a little bit of rotation through the lower part of your leg. Good. And then we can move up to the hips. So that 90-90 that we were looking at. So that 90-degree position out in front, 90 degrees out to the side. And then what we're thinking about doing, you can keep one hand on the floor to help keeping our chest upright, having a little lean forward, and then gently back. Notice that it's more of a hinge movement. I'm not sort of letting my body collapse and lean forward. I'm keeping my chest proud, hinge forward, little pause at the end and back up. If you want to make that a little bit more dynamic, I can take my hand away. And the key with this is as I lean forward, I'm thinking about pushing this knee into the floor as I come back up to really open up. If you want to have a little go at opening up lateral hip, you can do a few lifts and play around. Find where's tight, find where it feels a bit like, oh, that's I've not really challenged that before. And give it a play. And then same thing on the other side, keeping that chest up. Few forward leans, and again we're spending sort of a minute in each position, just exposing yourself to a little bit of those ranges, just trying to mobilize the joints a little bit. Lovely. And then you can bring that all together a little bit and see if you can spend a little bit of time at the bottom of a squat. Now you can hold into your toes to pull yourself down, you can challenge those ranges. If sitting in this is just really, really uncomfortable and you're not particularly enjoying it, it's just really, really hard, then actually what you can use is something like a wall. And actually you can get into the bottom of that squat position, being completely unloaded. And actually this is a really nice way I can just feel my adductors and everything else on the inside just open up. And I can spend a little bit of time here. I'm still hitting those same positions in a squat. I'm just completely unloaded. So you can do this on a door or a wall and just spend a bit of time in these positions. Again, a minute or so, absolutely fine. Moving on to your lower back, those two drills, one for coordination and proprioception. So we've got the cat-cow, so I'll just do one rep for you slowly. So even weight between my hands and my knees. From here, and then tuck my chin down into my chest. And my head doesn't go any further. And they're going to round my upper back from here
I'm just going to think vertebra by vertebra, slowly coming into a bit more flexion until I tuck my pelvis underneath me. From here, I'm going to try and keep my upper back in flexion, and I'm going to gently extend from the hip, really slowly. And when I feel that my lumbar spine can't extend anymore, and I'm going to very, very slowly feel each vertebra come into a little bit of extension, and like a wave, slowly finishing with my neck. So I would say work through a set of 3 or 4 reps, that kind of speed, really slow, really controlled, and just try and think about keeping even timing between each of those changes and see if you can improve that fluidity. And then we're going to work on those hinge movements. So if you remember, trying to think about now generating a bit of stiffness through our core and through our backs so that our backs aren't moving and we're just moving from our hips. So my feet are going to be hip width apart, knees slightly soft. I'm going to think about drawing my ribs slightly down. So I'm not going to think about arching my back. I'm going to think about drawing in, keeping my ribs slightly down so I feel my abdominals slightly engaged. And then from here, one hand in the lower back, one hand in your stomach. And then I'm just going to feel, as I hinge forward, the weight is going to travel into my heels on my feet. And I'm just going to hinge forward until I feel my hamstring. So that's as far as I can go. And then I'm going to come back up. Feel the weight travel forward towards the middle of my foot. And again, hinging at the hip. Feel the weight travel back into the heels. Come back forward, up to the top. If I want to make that a little bit more challenging, I can come onto one leg, so I can keep one foot in a kickstand, or I can lift the leg off the floor. Same thing, nice and controlled, hinge at the hip. Back is not moving, everything's coming from the hip. Okay, so last 2 drills for you to try. Moving up, shoulders. So we've got those controlled articular rotations that we looked at. So we can do one shoulder at a time. So making a fist, we bring our arm up to the top. When our arm doesn't go back any further, what we can do is turn our palm away. Imagine like you're doing backstroke. Let it rotate around. You end up with the back of your palm next to your leg. And then from here, I can push back. When it doesn't go back any further, I can rotate round, open, bring it over, round and down. I can do my swimmers on my front. I'll show you the position. I haven't quite got enough room in here to do it all on my front, but if I turn around, if you imagine I'm lying down flat on the floor with my head sort of either resting on the floor or on a cushion. I'm going to start with my hands into my back, and then from here I'm going to draw my shoulder blades back, keeping them squeezed. I'm then going to extend my arms, and then thinking about keeping my arms up reasonably high, keeping my shoulder blades engaged. I'm going to bring them up as far as I can. I can't bring them in any further. I'm going to bring them down behind my head. Relax for a second and then repeat. Squeeze, extend, slowly controlling back and down. And just doing 4 or 5 repetitions of this, just getting everything moving, feeling my shoulder blades really engaging, trying to mobilize my shoulders through full range of movement. Down behind the head, relax, squeeze, rotate round, in and down. So you can try that lying on your front. And then finally, that rotator cuff exercise. So trying to really switch on the back of your shoulder, trying to build that stability and control. So I'll talk you through it step by step. So all you need is a wall, a door, and something to go behind your hand. So a small cushion, anything you like. So small cushion here. So set up where this is key so you can feel it in the back of your shoulder. So we'll go step by step. Pop the cushion on the wall. Now if you stand pretty close to the wall, I'm going to put my hand up roughly in line with my face. Now then, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring my elbow slightly off the wall, and I want to make sure that my upper arm is basically in line with the wall, the surface I'm doing. So upper arm and door in line. From here, I'm actually just going to then turn my body out a little bit. I'm keeping my elbow well away from the wall, so it's pretty much staying underneath my wrist. Now, from here, I'm going to think about pushing my hand into the cushion. So it's just my hand, it's this movement. that external rotation. It's not this, it's just this. So I'm pushing my hand into the cushion, my elbow is well away from the wall, and then once I can feel the back of my shoulder engage, I'm going to lean back a little bit into my heels, hold for a second, and then come back up. Watch this elbow, make sure it's staying underneath the wrist, don't let it touch the door. Lean back. Oh, that's really burning. Come back up. Keep that elbow underneath the hand, keep pushing your hand into the cushion, and it takes a few reps and that will really, really get them going. Thank you very much again for coming on Saturday. I hope you found these helpful. Try putting these into practice a few times a week. I think you'll really hopefully see a difference in your training. Thanks.